is not enough. It is not enough to just list the source in a bibliography or at the reference appendix down there. So it's not just enough. You need to follow due process. Failing to properly quote, cite, or acknowledge someone's work, if you fail to recognize that person, that is plagiarism. So examples of plagiarism include turning in someone's work and assuming it is yours. You can even present it in a meeting, in a workshop, assuming it's yours. So that is an example of a plagiarized work. So copying large pieces of text from a source without citing that source. That one is also an example of plagiarism. Also, number 3, taking passage from multiple sources. And we have this with our students. We normally do it. Taking passages from multiple sources, piecing them together, and turning in the work as your own. That one also comprises plagiarism. Copying from a source, but changing a few words and phrases to disguise. That one also is a form of plagiarism. Also, paraphrasing. This is normally done. You simply download a work and you paraphrase a number of different sources without citing those sources. Turning in work that you did for another class without getting your lecturer's permission. Also, that one is self-plagiarizing because that work has been presented somewhere else before. So that is self-plagiarizing. So also buying an essay or paper and turning it as your own. We've seen that happening. So forms, those were examples. Now these are forms. So we have direct plagiarism. This is taking another person's ideas word for word without giving a proper citation. So directly, you take somebody and you assume it's yours. So that is a form of direct plagiarism. Members of the faculties, it is also good to also, in your sessions, you also sensitize students on the forms of plagiarism so that in future they will be able to do it properly, to cite the sources, and also avoid plagiarism. So we have another form called self-plagiarism. I've talked about it. Copying material you have previously produced and assuming or passing it off as a new production. So submitting your own previous work, and we are guilty as such, as charged, because mostly that's what we do. It is you self plagiarize. So that one has happened, and we have examples. So we have another form called unintentional plagiarism. This is forgetting to cite sources, misquoting sources, or paraphrasing sources without giving credit where credit is due. So that is unintentional. You didn't purpose to do it. We have another one called mosaic plagiarism, quoting another person's work without quotation marks. This can also refer to replacing words in another works with synonyms while maintaining the same overall structure. We've seen this with artificial intelligence or machine learning. You simply, we have softwares online where you simply command that software to give synonyms. And at the end of the day, that work is, the idea is the same, but you've used different words. So we've seen it.
Sorry, Mr. Junguna, we are not seeing your
Yes.
screen. It's dark.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Rotich, is my screen visible? This is technology. Do we have somebody to respond?
The screen has disappeared.
Oh, it has disappeared. Let me try to share. Okay. I don't know what is happening. Mr. Rotich, allow me to share, please. Mr. Rotich has disappeared.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have the permissions.
Okay. I don't know what is happening. What about now?
Not yet.
Hey.
Not yet.
I'm using a new computer here. I don't know. Mr. Rotich, could you be having the presentation at your end? I think I'm having challenges down here. Oh, Mr. Rotich, can you share on my behalf? Go to slide number six, I guess. Members, are you able to see? I'm able to see Mr. Rotich's screen. Eh?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Next. Okay. Go back a little bit. Yeah, consequences of plagiarism. We have consequences as listed there. So this is a presentation. You will also do a practical session. So you may receive a written letter of concern and warning. That has been happening, and we have samples in Egerton. Retraction of an article. This is a daily occurrence. We've seen articles which were published being retracted from a website. Some form of disciplinary action on the part of researcher or institute or funding body. Those are part of consequences that you may suffer. Also, rare extreme punishment such as being barred from publishing in future, loss of position or loss of funding, loss of a job. We've seen in the news media, that somebody forwarded somebody else's work, and the work helped him or her to get a position, and you end up being sacked. Also note, Egerton University Statute 2013, Section 11 and 13 list plagiarism as an act of examination and research malpractices and attract penalties. Next. So Turnitin, I've mentioned that the university has bought or has prescribed to Turnitin, and we've been using it for quite some time, and we have together with Board of Postgraduate, we've been running the software to see how much students are copying, and we have done it for the last few years. So what is Turnitin? And we have several anti-plagiarism softwares, but this one is an international one. It's known. It's being used by over 30 million students. So far, I'm very sure it's above now 50. So Turnitin is a web-based plagiarism detection software provided by the Turnitin company. It is a tool to find and indicate the matching contents. So matching from where? It is matching from the website, the internet. And remember, in the internet, we have also what we call the surface web and the deep web. Deep web, this is where you indicate your password and the usernames. So Turnitin is able, through the artificial intelligence, it's able to go to institutions and know that material was gotten from an institution. So Turnitin plagiarism prevention tool generates originality reports that show how much of a document is original, cited from another source, or unoriginal. This is what is attached at the end of the dissertation or thesis to show, and we'll show you an example of the originality report, which students now again attach at the end of the project or the dissertation. So researchers or scholars use Turnitin to identify their mistakes or weaknesses in citations so as to improve their academic writing skills. I've said it is being used globally by over 30 million students and 15,000 institutions in 150 countries. This was as of last year, so I'm very sure we are now at almost 200 countries. Okay, Turnitin coverages. Major databases are covered by Turnitin. Sage, this is a publisher known. We also cross-reference Oxford University Press. Yeah, all those EBS cohorts. We have ProQuest. And in Egerton, we also prescribe to ProQuest. All those books which are in ProQuest database are covered by Turnitin. Elsevier, Medline, Springer, artificial intelligence or machine learning. This, because currently what students are doing, they are simply going to the internet and they use what we call the AI to simply generate a project. And with the Turnitin, you'll be detected because the idea, the AI is just like a person. So Turnitin can be able to detect that person got this idea from a certain, because we have several AIs or machine learning softwares. It detects, it will tell you that this person copied this from a certain area. So sources, this is a continuation. So it also gets from the internet sources publicly accessible. This is what I'm scoring it, surface web, because that one anybody can access. Published journals, books, and proceedings. This is what I've called deep web because you need passwords and usernames. Also, student submission in Turnitin. So many students are submitting their works in Turnitin to be kept as a repository. You'll be shown this. If that work is also kept in Turnitin in the repository, that work can also be detected by Turnitin also. Sources which are not covered. This one is very difficult for Turnitin to see this. Unpublished articles, papers, in-house repositories. Okay, we have also what we call in-house databases. But once they are out there, maybe like ours, we are currently doing what we call we have a repository in Egerton which is open access. In future, it will be detected by Turnitin. Mr. Rotich. Yeah, features of Turnitin. You'll see this practically as Mr. Rotich takes you through the practical aspect of Turnitin. It is very easy to submit your papers, articles, book chapters, thesis, and so on. Somebody was asking me, is Turnitin only for thesis? So you can see, you can submit anything, even if you are doing a book chapter, you can You can also check for the originality of that. Another feature is find and get sources of matching contents. Yeah. Instant receipt of submission. It gives you a receipt, and it takes very few minutes to generate that report. Feedback through same interface. Yeah, you'll be shown how it is done. Useful for checking referencing before submission. Currently, many lecturers are sending their students in either postgraduate or in the library, so that you are able to gauge, is this student copying? Is it the original work, or it's a downloaded work? So Turnitin access levels, we have the administrator. Yeah, the administrator can create instructors and download the statistics of usage or the Turnitin account. So a report can be generated by the administrator. We also, where most of you now fall in, instructor can create classes, assignments, add students, filter settings, and excluding matching sources in the report. This aspect, because you may find that we have what we call in Turnitin false positives. False positives, it reduces Turnitin. The instructor can reduce the false positives by excluding small matches and references. You'll be shown how. So you can exclude small matches and also bibliographies. So that's the work of, okay, you have the capacity to do it. So students, we've not reached here as Egerton, but student can upload a paper in the assigned class, download originality report, and submit. So how Turnitin works? It works by uploading the article in the text box. You'll be shown this. Let me rush over it because it will be practical, and anything practical is you get to grasp very fast. When the test is done, an accurate percentage is given that tells how original or unique the write-up is. Expressions or sentences are shown in red. Previously, exist online and will not pass Google plagiarism test. Additional, there are references links. Yeah, that's a graphical how it is. A document is uploaded, Turnitin it there in the middle, and it checks from the sources, the internet sources, publications, student papers. We've talked about it in the earlier slides. So Turnitin repository, this is what I was talking about. We have a standard repository, and the benefit of submitting papers to the standard paper repository is that students' papers submitted to the assignment are checked against other institutions' students' submissions. Okay, institutions' papers repository. This means that the assignment will only be checked against other student submissions within the institution. We normally put this in our, when we are doing for students, no repository. Students' paper will not be stored in the Turnitin standard paper repository. And you'll be told why we are using that. In Egerton, we use no repository because you may want to rephrase some works. If it is stored, you'll be shown that you've done total copying. So you'll be shown how. So the papers will not be checked for collusion between students of the same different institutions. Next slide. So these are the colors you'll be seeing. So when you see in your paper, because a report will be, if you submit a thesis, this is what you see. Some fonts or some words will be in blue, others will be highlighted in green, yellow, orange, or red. So when you see any paragraph or a sentence which has been highlighted in blue, that there's no matching words. When it is in green, it's either between 1 and 24 similarity index. And I forgot to mention, there is a policy in Egerton that says that all submitted works must be below 20%. So yellow, 25 to 49% similarity index. Orange color, if you come across that, you need to rephrase because it will be 50 to 74% similarity index. Red, that one is above 75. So those are the colors. That is the interface. Once you are registered, you'll be given, as an instructor, you'll be given this. Yeah, okay, anytime because it's an online, you can access it from wherever you are. So that's the interface. You log in with your email address and the password. So, okay, these are requirements. Msijali sana, you'll get to understand what we mean by the requirements. Okay, currently, sorry, you jumped. Okay, the files. I wanted to go to file types around. Somebody was asking, can I do in PDF? It is possible in HTML, rich text format, or documents, Word. Yeah, files must be at least 20 words of text. So the maximum paper length is 400 pages. Most of our theses are between 40 to 100. So you can do it even in a maximum of 400 pages. Now, let us go. I've talked about file types. Mr. Rotich, I've talked about Word, PDF. Let us go to the other slide. This is what you attach. Like this person got, the similarity index was 18. And you can see the colors I was talking about. So that is a report at which is produced once we run your work in the Turnitin. And students are encouraged to attach this as an appendix in the thesis. So I think, okay, yeah, continue. So I believe if we do it practically, you'll get to understand what I've talked about in the previous slides. Mr. Rotich, I think, can we take questions now, or we wait until you do a practical session so that they get to grasp?
Maybe I
Members?
the practical session, and then we'll combine all the questions, because maybe some of the questions that our participants might want to ask, maybe we'll answer during the practical session. So let me stop sharing. Allow me to share my screen. Thank you, Mr. Njuguna, for taking us through that session. I hope you are seeing my screen.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Maybe just to add from that presentation is that previously university had been acquiring limited licenses, so we have not been sharing with our lecturers. Mostly been available in the library and for the postgraduate school. But at least this year there are more licenses. That is why we decided to, of course, with consultation with board of postgraduate, that lecturers who are supervising students have the licenses, so that they can be checking for themselves as they supervise the students. So we'll, I think from next week, we'll start creating accounts. We'll write letters to the deans and CODs to give us the lecturers who are supervising postgraduate students, and then now we create accounts so that they can manage. But the condition for creating account is we need to train the lecturers. So those who are maybe for one reason or another, they are not able to get this session, we'll train them either on one-on-one or even the faculties or.
Oh, Mr. Rotich,
Yes.
Mr. Rotich,
Yes.
maybe some members are saying you're not audible. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
And now you're audible now.
Okay,
audible? Yeah, it's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
So I was saying, I think from next week we'll create accounts as we will get names for those who are supervising students, so that we can create accounts for them, so that they'll be able to use them. And then also we encourage faculties and CODs. Maybe they can organize an face-to-face training session. We, as library, will be ready to come and train our lecturers on face-to-face. Those who are unable to attend the trainings, they can call us or they can come to the library. We show them so that as you use the Turnitin, we'll be able to use it effectively. And then also there are issues that needs to be taken care of so that we don't find ourselves in either in the wrong direction. And also, as we will also give the licenses, we'll need to ensure that the licenses are used ethically. That means they are only used for checking theses or even papers for students who are bona fide staff or our bona fide students. Yeah, those are the things that I need to add. And then the other thing that I need to add is the policy is being prepared. This one will also guide us how we can use Turnitin effectively. So that's a work in progress. So with that, allow me to do a demo so that we can grasp how Turnitin works. So normally, once you get the once you get trying to once you get the account, you'll always log in wherever you are, and this is the interface. The interface is turnitin.com. So this is where you are supposed to log in. Immediately we create an account for you. An email will be sent, a link will be sent to your email, and it will prompt you to set your username, a strong username, and maybe a secret password. So that one is very easy. Allow me to log in. Normally, we expect our users to use the corporate email only. So I have logged in, and okay. Normally for the lecturers, they'll be instructors. So I want to log in as an instructor. Okay, some of the work you see that we have done. Normally, when you log in, just as Mr. Juguna said, at the initial stage, you need to create a class. A class is simply a name that you will give to where your work will be saved. If you are supervising maybe a PhD students in, let's say, animal health, you can use that as a class. So you just click and then you give it a name. Let me just use that name, animal science. Maybe you want to PhD students, and then enrollment key, you can just write the same animal more science. Subject area, you can list at least one, maybe one. Can they technical level, indicate maybe postgraduate. And where I'm not clear, you can ask questions. And then when the class is ending, so maybe you can put, if you are supervising a group of students, you can indicate maybe the prospective day that you think they'll have completed their work. But the beauty about this is you can always extend, so there's no harm. So, and then you submit. Okay. Enrollment key, I think, okay. I think I'm supposed to get the enrollment key somewhere, but
yeah, Mr. Rotich, you can put numbers.
see.
Yeah.
There's a number which Turnitin generated. I was trying to see whether I can use any.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So once you have done that, you submit, and then you'll be given. You can see those class ID and enrollment key. You need to capture somewhere. And then you say continue. So now your class will be there. Animal science. And then now the next step is you create an assignment. So you click. I hope it's visible.
Yes.
Okay. So you can put maybe you say PhD thesis, PhD thesis, and then just a moment. Sorry about that. Okay. And then now there's something which Mr. Njuguna mentioned about the librarian. Okay. There's something which Mr. Njuguna talked about indicating whether you want to submit your work to standard repository or no repository. So to explain further, when you say no repository, that means the work that you'll submit will not be put in Turnitin repository. And this is important because when you are doing work with a student, you might need to resubmit several times. So if you put standard repository, that work will go to Turnitin. Next time you try and run or check the plagiarism, it will show 100%. So it's always good to put no repository. We can change the settings into repository when the student has finalized the work. That's when you can change. But there's no harm to put in no repository. And then the other thing that you need to put is the start date and then the end date. That means in the case where you give student permission to upload the thesis, you need to set the due date. That is the date that the student the maximum date that the student will need to have deposited the thesis or even assignment. Because this Turnitin is supposed to work both in thesis and even class assignment. But because of the limited licenses that we have, currently we are using only for the purpose of checking our thesis and even article papers. But in ideal situation, even you can use for assignments. And this is where the date due is very applicable. But for the thesis, you might put a longer date maybe the day that you feel most of your students will have completed. And again, this one you can always extend, so there is no harm. And then there's other optional settings. I can take you through. Allow submission after due date. That's if you allow your students to submit on their own, you can indicate whether yes or no. And then generate similarity reports for submission. It's always good to put yes. And then also generate similar reports for students. Immediate, there are other options, but this is the most appropriate, so that immediate pass report is final. I think this one you can always say override, depends, so that if you allow students again to upload on their own, they can always override the previous assignment. And then exclude bibliographic materials from similarity index. So if you don't want Turnitin to check the references as part of his or her work, you say yes or no. But I think the best practice is yes, so that it excludes bibliographic materials, that's references. And then exclude quoted works. I think the best practice is to include, so you say no. And then exclude small sources. This is something which can be debated and be guided as well, maybe when we have a policy. When you say exclude small sources, maybe if Turnitin finds words, if you say like maybe, you can say maybe two words. So if Turnitin's identify two words which are similar with other texts which are available online with the student's work, it will ignore, so it will not be part of the similarity index report. So it depends. But if you say no, then it will consider everything, even one word or two words. And then other options, students paper repository. That means it can search. It can search students paper repository. It can search current and archival internet. It can search periodicals, journals, and so forth. So it's always good to put those settings. Those settings it's good to tick so that it checks against those. And this is something that will work with you as you, especially those who will start beginning using Turnitin. We'll work with you until you are familiar with how to use Turnitin. Once you have done your settings, then you can say submit. Now at this point, you are able now to you are ready to submit papers to Turnitin. And so you'll see this interface. You come to this action, so you can say submit. In case you had submitted before, you can always click view and you'll see the previously submitted work. So allow me to do one, to submit one. So you just click submit. And then, of course, you have a paper in mind. Maybe let me just use my name for the purpose of moving at speed. Maybe testing. But in actual sense, it will be the name of the student and then the paper that the student is submitting. Or if it is yourself, you are submitting, maybe you have written a paper you want to submit for publication. So you want to check the level of similarity index. So in that case, you will put your names and then the paper that you intend to check for similarity index. And then depending on where you save the document, if it is on Dropbox, if it is on Google Drive, it allows all. If it is on your computer, mine is on my computer, so I check I can use previously submitted work. Maybe I can check. Let me go to like this one. Maybe assuming this is the work of a student. So you click, and then you say, okay. And then from there, you upload. It's actually very user-friendly. Within some few minutes of practicing, you'll be able to use Turnitin. It's not very complicated. What you need is just to practice. So it's uploading. You give it a minute to upload. It will take some few minutes to upload. And then normally, for you to get the similarity reports, I think normally, okay, so after that, you ensure that the details are correct. Then you click confirm. Yeah, that's at this point now you have submitted the work. So you can see in summary, it will give you the submission ID. So that if a student says he submitted the work, there is normally a unique ID, that's submission ID. That's a unique ID. You'll never find another paper which has been submitted with the same ID, submission ID number. So you can always capture, but the good thing is you can always print, so you don't need to write somewhere. And then once you have submitted, you can submit several at the same time. But for our case, just you go back to the assignment box. So at this juncture, Turnitin will run your paper against other papers which are available online in their repository and any other paper online. This one, depending on the speed of the internet, it can take maybe like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. At times it can stay long. So, but you keep on refreshing so that you know that. So if you have submitted several papers, you will see the papers on the screen. But because we are doing on, you are using this one for testing, I can go to a paper which we had run before, so that we can use that one for learning purposes. So let me check one which I have submitted before. Can always save view. I think there's one which I was testing. Let me see the. Okay, like this one now. Of course, this is a work which had been done, which had been done before, and that's been published. So you can see the similarity index is high. So, but this might not be the same, the case. This is something which had been run by before, and so I rerun, and that's why it's giving us a higher number. And then so to check, you just click on that icon, and the thesis or the paper will be opened. Yeah, so this is the paper. Okay, and then you can see what Turnitin uses is word similarity.
Mr. Rotich,
Yes?
Mr. Rotich.
Can't see the paper.
We are just
okay. Let me share. I think because of sorry, I think I've shared so many things.
Yeah,
it's now visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so you can see this. The case we are using is is something which had been run before. That's why the percentage is high, but we are using it for learning purposes. And then what I was explaining is Turnitin uses similarity index. So that means when you see similarity index, it doesn't mean the work is plagiarized. What it means is that Turnitin has discovered other works which is similar to yours. So it's upon the supervisor to check now and see whether is this work the student has plagiarized, or maybe even it can be in his work and so forth. So it's very important to note that it's this is not you don't say like this is a plagiarized work. Maybe you can say the similarity index is high. It's upon the lecturer to go where it's identified, it's highlighted as similar to other works. You check now and determine whether the student was copying and pasting or what happened. So to look at the details without percentage, just click the percentage and it will show you various where this work is similar elsewhere. And normally the way Turnitin works, it numbers all the works that it has identified as similar. It will number them, like number one, all running to the final one. So like the similar work number one is contributing to 10% of this 67%. If you go to this, number two is similar to this number two source, which is equivalent to 6% of the work that the student has presented, and so forth. So it indicates the source. So if you want to, you can just run and see, you can scroll and see. And alternatively, you can run through the paper, scroll down. Of course, there are some works which are similar. That's why we talk about similarity. These are the works which are similar, like the declaration and recommendation, they are similar. So you don't have to worry about those. The most critical is the body. So you run through the body, then you check the abstract. I just want to let me just scroll faster so that I can explain the concept. Okay, like we are now in the body of the text. You can see this number that has been given as highlighted as number 2. And normally, Turnitin uses several colors across the text so that you can easily identify the text that has been highlighted as similar to other texts that are available elsewhere. So like for this case, number 2, if you click that, when you're online, of course, it will, if the work that has been used is not restricted, when you click on that, like I've clicked number 2, it will bring the original text where it's identified as similar. And you can see it is identifying the similar works with almost with the color, so that from this point now, you as a supervisor, you can be able to judge whether this student was he copying directly word by word, or was she paraphrasing. Like you can see from this, at least they can see that there's some citation. So this is whereby you can now guide the student that okay, this work, either this plagiarized, this work is similar, you need to paraphrase. You now guide students from the informed point of view. And this is the work of anti-plagiarism software. It helps the student and supervisors to identify where the work either are quoted, where the student needs either to paraphrase, the student needs to be a bit creative, or maybe the student needs to cite the work. And that is the essence of Turnitin. So that once the student submits the final work, it will be at least the originality will be higher. So, and also the credibility, because as you are aware, all the work submitted by our students ends up at Egerton University institutional repository. So it will not be good for another institution to discover that the student from Egerton University used either somebody's work without citing. So it's good that we use Turnitin to make the students' work more acceptable, and also it meets at least a threshold, so that even when this paper is on our Egerton University institutional repository, it's a paper which is worthy to be available online. So that's the purpose. So you can scroll through Turnitin, the work, and identify where the student has or where there is similar work. Just look at the source, compare, and then advise the student accordingly where you can improve. And so that's how the Turnitin works. Mr. Njuguna mentioned about the AI. I think Turnitin is working on AI so that as we know, students or technology is moving very fast. So even Turnitin also are working towards catching up with students maybe who are using AI to develop either their thesis or paper. So I think these are work in progress, and within maybe a short period, we'll have AI for Turnitin working. So this one can make students to be original in their works. So I think that is it. Maybe I can mention also some of the features in Turnitin. You can always look at the works, and Turnitin allows you to filter also some of the improve on similarity index. You mentioned that it can ask you either to limit the works which are exclude sources that are less than, maybe sources are less than 1 or 2 or 3. I think it will be guided by what the perspective. Maybe you want to exclude references. If you want to exclude sources, you do that. So when you click that, you can even exclude a given once you have excluded those sources, you can click to apply changes. So you'll find that the similarity index will drop down. And then, yeah, you can see when you excluded have excluded the references and also the quoted works, and you can see the threshold is coming down. So you can always use those filters as guided. And then now again, these are again very important. If the work that you are running, maybe the student has no access to Turnitin, you can always download the work either and share with the student, or even share with another supervisor if there are 2 supervisors. And so you can click on, if you want to download the work, click on download, click on that icon. Let me do it again. You can see that icon. I hope we are seeing.
Yes.
Thank you. So you click on that icon.
Yeah.
You can now download. It gives you 3 options. Let me explain the 3 options. The current view is the one which has similarity index, the one which has been marked. So there's the current view. Digital receipts. Remember I talked about the submission ID. This one you can download the digital receipt and print. This one will show when the student submitted the work, the count words of the thesis, and so forth. And then the original submitted file, you will just download the file which was submitted without similarity index. So the most appropriate is this one, the current view, so that you can see the similarity report even when you are offline. So what I was showing is when you are online, but now if you are offline, you need to download the current view. Or this one, if you want to print maybe for report purposes, you can download it. So allow me to download the the current view so that you can see how it look like. I think that will be the final part of the practical. Preparing to download, but if it takes time, I can use one which I had done before. Allow me to use a. Let me see. Trying to identify one which has been done before. It's opening. Just give me a minute to open. It's opening. Are you able to see what I've downloaded?
Yes.
Of course. Oh,
Yeah, it is.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, it will contain the title of the.
It is.
It's there. Okay. Of course, it will show the details of the actual paper. Let me scroll down. So this one now you are able to access it offline, and you see it's a bit different from the one that you are seeing online. And when you are doing it offline, you will not have the advantage of seeing the actual source where the student copied there. But you'll see the summary. So I'll take you through. So you can see throughout the text where it's highlighted. That's where, and it will show the numbering. Like now, maybe like two. If you scroll towards the end of the document, it will show the corresponding source where Turnitin thinks that the student copied the work from, or a similar work. Just allow me to run to the bottom of the. Of course, the online is more user-friendly because at least you are able to check direct. But this one you have to do almost. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there. You can see now the numbering. Yeah? So within the text, always the numbers will not always correspond with the, like everywhere where Turnitin has indicated number 1, that means the student used this source. So you can always see. And then now the summary will show the summary of the overall ratings. Eh? And then from this, maybe it should show in summary the student used the internet sources, student publications, student papers. And so you can see the summary. So you can always see every corresponding number. Go online. Okay, so you can see you can always see where it has been numbered. and the source. So you can always check. And even if you send this paper to the student will see where it has been highlighted in the text and where the source came from. So you can always work with the student to improve the work. I think that is what I can show. So it's a good tool that can help your work or students' work to be more acceptable, or even a paper that you are writing. So I think this is what I think we can cover for now. I think at this juncture we can welcome questions, but remember that we would like faculties and departments to invite us so that we can do one-on-one sessions, especially because I received like about two calls yesterday that they will need actual face-to-face session. So in the library, we are very, very flexible. We'll be able to come to your department or faculty and train you one-on-one. So at this juncture, I can welcome questions so that the librarians and even the members of board of postgraduate can answer the questions that you might be having. Thank you and welcome. Yes, members, now the floor is open to questions. And Mr. Njuguna, you can guide on the question and answer session.
It's okay. Members, you can unmute yourselves. There is that option. You just unmute, then ask, or on the chat, I don't see much. Mr. Rotich, I think.
I have a question, Mr. Njuguna.
Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe just two questions.
Yes.
Are we going to get the accounts now? Because I thought that was the point behind the training for today.
Yes. Yes, we.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, we are going to get accounts. Like for the list that who attended this session, we can go ahead and create the accounts, and then we'll also write to the departments to give us the names of those who are supervising, or if we can get it from postgraduate, so that we'll start giving out we'll start creating the accounts right away.
All right. Now the other question is that according to this specifically for Mr. Rotich,
yes,
I think in what you've been telling us is like there can be an option now to upload for students to upload. Is that really the case, or we're still going to be doing this ourselves?
Yeah, there's an option. There's an option. I can show you direct. Let me demonstrate that. There's an option. Like now, as an administrator, just I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, I can see.
Yes. Okay. So like now, as an instructor, you can go to the. Let me go to the assignment. And then now you can see as an instructor, you're able to add students.
Okay.
Yes, so you can see, look at then you say add students. Of course, as we'll be guided, but for now, I'll engage the board of postgraduate so that we can understand what level can we go, because we work in conjunction with postgraduate, and especially now the policies being developed, which is also guide us on at what level can we go. But it's possible. Like you can click there, you add the student, you give it the name, and then you give the email of the student, and then you submit. And then now in your settings, I don't know if they can go back. In your settings, you need also to indicate that the student can submit.
Okay.
This one the instructor can do. Maybe.
Okay.
Let me just show. Yeah, you can see allow students to see similarity index. So, and also there's maybe I cannot see it, but there's an option where you allow students to upload the work by themselves.
Yes, actually, that's what I saw. Anyway,
Yes.
that's why I was asking the question.
Yes, so it is there in Turnitin.
Okay.
Because of the issue of policy, maybe there are some things which we will need to clarify, especially with the board of postgraduate, to guide us what we can, to what level that we can go. But Turnitin has those features.
Oh, okay. Now maybe of course this goes to graduate school, but you know, in the setting also you have the number of words that can be excluded.
Yes.
If we are to start using this immediately, then that should be there for us now, because otherwise, if we continue postponing, we must have something to work with for now.
Yeah.
The number of words that we can exclude. So far, at least I know Mr. Njuguna has mentioned, although the policy is not yet out, that we can go up to not more than 25% similarity.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think also Professor Nyalala is in the room. Maybe if he is still there, he can guide and contribute.
Okay, thank you very much. The library team led by Mr. Otich. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all the faculty members who have sacrificed to attend this session. This is a session we've been always looking forward to. And I think this could be, is it the second or the third one?
I think this is the second. Yeah, we have
It
had
could be
the third or yeah.
Yeah, because I think I've attended others, but I want to say that this is very successful. Today, I think, in my view, we have the highest now, and we would like to see this number going up because essentially, if possible, we would like to see all the academic staff getting this training and being conversant with this software so that we can actually use it effectively. So far, we've only been using this for PhD thesis, but we want to go beyond that. For now, maybe we'll only exclude the undergraduate work. But when the policy comes out, I think the whole university will be included. So maybe from next year, if possible, we also now need to rope in the master's thesis. And in terms of the similarity index, yes, Mr. Njuguna put it right. The policy will come out clearly on this, but as a guideline, we are now using below 20%. In other words, the similarity index should be below 20%. So that's what we are doing with the PhD work. Generally, we use it with the default settings because you saw, like what Mr. Otich demonstrated, we don't actually submit to the repository. There's no repository. And then we also exclude the references. So the references, obviously that one you cannot value as maybe a source for similarity index because it has to be there, so long as you used them. And then we also exclude the students' own work. Like it is unfortunate, the graduate school or the Board of Postgraduate Studies should only be verifying the similarity index, but not really to do the actual checking or testing. And this is why we want to cascade this down to the departments, to the supervisors, so that when they come there, we only confirm that for sure, yes, this is what it is. But that has not been working. Most students will wait until the final thesis is submitted to graduate school. That is when it gets checked for the first time. And it's really awesome. I remember one case which we started checking in January, and it only went through last month in July. So you can just imagine, it's a lot of work back and forth. So this will really help us. And I know, yes, a few students I've seen there also go to the library, they check. And when it comes to the graduate school, it is much easier because that's not the first time it is checked. Now, while doing that, we need to be clear. It is only our setting here that says we don't submit to the repository, but in other institutions, they do. So we've had cases where students check their thesis in other universities, or maybe Carroll or ILRI, and they submit it there. When that happens, when it comes to us, it will be 99% or 98 or 95. And that is very difficult because what it means is that the thesis is now, according to Turnitin, that thesis will be a document of that institution. So what we've always done in the past is to insist that it has to be removed from the repository of that institution so that it can be Egerton thesis. And of course, the theses that have been submitted to Egerton University repository, they get reflected here. And that is what it should be. So if a student does this outside Egerton University, the guideline is that it should not be submitted to a repository. Otherwise, it will remain document for that institution. I don't know, Mr. Rotich, if you could allow me to share.
Yes.
It's a bit that I want to go further too.
Oh, okay.
If possible.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay. I don't know. Let me see.
Okay, I've made you a co-host, so you can.
I can share the screen.
Yes, let me stop sharing mine. Yeah, proceed now, Professor.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so this is my account. It's the same process. I just log in. And by the way, I'm currently on leave, so I'm doing this from home.
Oh.
So that can show you that you can do this anywhere, as long as you have the licenses. I have several. You can see I'm mainly dealing with the PhDs. And I started doing this in 2019 to date. So I have a very long list. So these are my students of the class names. Right now I'm on PhD 2023. Yeah. So I can click on that. And when I go to view, I have several. So you can see all these are the theses we've been looking at. And you can see some of them are green, others are yellow, and maybe red. So this is what Mr. Rotich and Mr. Njuguna were talking about. You can see the number of theses that are green. Very few, okay? Most of them are yellow. And I have even two of that. And as it goes, it is now to some of them being orange. So if I can pick, for example, this one, which is 55, you cannot conclude that because it is 55%, this thesis is plagiarized. If I click on that, I'll get the online report, which Mr. Rotich has already talked about. Okay. So if I click on that, yes, this is 55%, which is very high. But now I need to check whether this 55 is not coming from the same thesis, because if you publish a paper from a thesis, Turnitin will actually get that. And it is just fair subtract or to remove that from the similarity index when we are gauging whether it is less than 20% or not. In this case, on this 55, we have number one here, which if I click on, and this is the bit I wanted to go further. When you click on that, and then you get this, you click here, you'll get the actual source.
Professor, share
Yes.
the what you have opened. I think
You're not seeing the script?
you are seeing, but not the one that you have opened.
Ah.
Yeah, we're only seeing the list of students. Maybe it's not live. So can we get the document you're working on now? Maybe you can stop sharing this and share the document.
It's not live.
No.
Yeah, we reached the point where you have the list of students and for the titles and all the colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are seeing your screen, but what you have opened is not visible. So maybe share that one.
Okay, then I need to go back. I don't know why.
Stop sharing the current, then you share that one now.
The one that you've opened.
Okay, fine. So I can share that, the one that I've opened. Eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying that according to Turnitin, the similarity index for this document is 55%. So if I click on that, like Mr. Rotich did, and then I click on the percentage, how come it's not giving me the... It's not responding, eh?
No, it will. Just click. Maybe give it time. Click on.
Yeah.
Click on the arrow.
Good.
Eh? Maybe
it's not.
It's not.
It's not responding. But okay, so I just wanted to go further to show. Let me just restart it.
But just click again. Maybe.
Or is it the? Okay, it is loading. You see, it's loading, yeah? No.
No, you have gone to a different thesis, but you can still use that one.
Okay, let me now see whether this will. That one is not responding. I am not sure exactly what has happened. Or I will have to.
Maybe you can just explain the concept and then I hope.
Okay, so I just want to show the participants how you can detect the papers that have been published from the same thesis, and then you remove that percentage. So if you do what I'm trying to do here, you'll be able to see that, and that will help you to know whether it is plagiarized or not. So, like the one I'm thinking of, the 55 one, that 19%, if you follow it up, you will find it is from the same thesis. The next one, which I think was around 9 from the same thesis. So at the end of it, what has come from the thesis may even be 40-something%, which means the similarity index itself is not really 55, but it is far much less than 20%. So that is how we normally do it. And it's not difficult. I want to confess to the other people, and everybody actually should be able to use this. And when we do that, it will be very easy. So I don't know whether I answered your question on the similarity index.
I think they have gotten the concept. So it's just the way Professor Nyalala is explaining is you have to look at the work critically. and determine whether this work is, it can be the student work which is contributing to that percentage. So you need to subtract. Yes. And thank you, Professor Lala. At least you have explained very well. And I don't know whether there are members who still need to seek clarification. Maybe they can proceed.
Any other query? Comment?
If there are no more comments, Mr. Rotich.
Yes.
I don't know, but I thought the email that we received was talking of the members who have attended today being given the license.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll create.
Yes.
Well, those who have attended today will just create, and then also we'll write to the faculties to give us names, so that we ensure that we have to create accounts as people, our lecturers are trained, so that they don't receive the account, and maybe they don't have an idea how it works. So
actually, that is what I was trying to allude to, that it is better for only those who have been trained to be given the account, because if you receive that account and you don't know what it is, it may not be helpful at all.
Yes.
But if that can work, I think that will be very nice. So the ones who have attended today, they can be given that. And from my experience, members, me, I didn't go for training. Mr. Oti just showed me how to have the account, and I started operating it. So in most cases, you will learn more by practice. So if you have that account and you start using this software, it will be very easy and useful. And I think Mr. Rotich and the library, maybe later on, as we think of extending this to the undergraduate students, we may need to have some training on how to use the assignment bit of it. Okay. Because that is also very critical. In Egerton University, you don't give an assignment. You give it and it's done by one student, and a whole class of 100, they will copy the same. Yeah. So this will be a very useful tool, even for them. And I think it's good in terms of the quality of our publications, our theses, our documents, whatever. And by the way, we're already using it also for the papers that are submitted for publication in the Egerton journals. I found it very useful, and I think that is a very good move. Otherwise, thank you so much. And we look forward to the members who have attended being our ambassadors there. Let everybody, particularly those who are supervisors of postgraduate students, we expect them to have this. It will make our work very easy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, so Prof, I mean, just going back to what I had asked for, Mr. Rutich.
Yes.
When exactly are we getting his account? Because this has been the issue.
Okay, like now for those who have attended today's, you will get today the accounts, and then now
yes, please, and then yes,
and then
just maybe maybe yes.
I was saying, and then now for the rest, we'll write an email to deans so that they can cascade to CODs, so that either they can come to the library, we train them and we give them account. Also, we'll encourage also the departments to organize an in-house training, maybe face-to-face, so that the uptake will increase, just the way Professor Nalala was saying, that we need to use this tool, because the university is paying for it. So the better we use, the better even we can ask for more licenses, because they had been giving us 500 At least this year we have 1100. So as if we use all the 1100, next year we'll have reason to ask for even double that number.
Okay, so just a request, maybe just need some clarification. I know in this training you have indicated that we are actually going to be using this for theses and whatever, the postgraduate students. How about if I was to use it as an instructor just to check the assignments of my student? Would that be bad?
Okay, it will not be
So
bad.
that is where we have also a lot of problems.
Maybe on one sample, because of the limited lessons, like if especially maybe you don't enroll students who are like for the either for papers or even for maybe undergraduate students. You don't.
Yeah, I don't enroll them, but I check myself.
Them.
I mean, when they send me the whatever, I can check.
Yeah, you can check because you'll just be using a license. So that one, there's no harm. The only danger is only if you enroll students, you'll exhaust our license within no time and we'll have a problem. But you can check using your account.
All right.
Yes.
I could also add, Mr. Ortiz, yes. Once you are an instructor in this, you can use it for anything. The only guideline is what Mr. Ortiz said, that it would be better only to use it for work that is related to Egerton University. But I don't think there is any limitation. Those assignments you can take for the students, but they may not be the students submitting. It means once you receive them either through email or whichever form,
yes,
you to check. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the clarification I needed.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. So I think at this juncture, thank you, faculty members, and even Deputy Director for sacrificing a time when you are on leave. We appreciate. So we'll create accounts. You will check on your Egerton University email account. And in case of any query, you can reach to us and we'll be able to help. I think if there's nothing else, we can close the session.
No matter you the attendance list, so you know who attended.
Yes, we have, and even we have the recording, so we can always fall back on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just as President Nyalala said, be our ambassadors so that the uptake among the faculty members can go up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.